What is going on, everybody? My name is Danny Ferrari.
My name is Parker Ament.
And we are Excellent Sound, and we are back with another remake from our brand new pack, Quest for Bass Volume 2. Part 2. You guys can still get this project file, hopefully, and a bunch of the other bonus remakes. If you guys go ahead and check out the link in the description, you guys can see we got a ton of awesome project files, a ton of extra bonus presets, but obviously this project file itself, we will be going over, and specifically this one sound you guys can get for free right now. If you click the link in the description, we got a free preset for you, we got an extra preset for you, and we got 2 racks for you guys.
Yeah, you guys went crazy for part 1 with the Chewbacca bass, and now we are doing the main sound.
We're doing the main first sound that you hear. I don't know if it's like a drop slide bass, scream bass. We got to think of something
Just call it
for.
Chewbacca, dude.
A Chewbacca bass.
Chewbacca, dude, the pitcher.
The pitcher, bro.
Son of a pitcher,
and if you guys don't know what we're talking about this sound right here.
Another Excellent Sound Skrillex remake. How original.
Obviously a super sick bass. Just gonna give you guys a little bit of forewarning. Okay, there is a lot to this bass, okay? So remember, we have the free downloads in the description down below, so you guys can just grab that, don't worry. But it is important, try to follow along because you will learn something, because with Serum 2, it's a whole other ball game. We're doing crazy routing, we're using different filters, we're using different LFOs for different things. We're trying to make these extremely hard sounds just based off of just Serum 2 alone. And I'm sure it was probably made a lot easier. Virtual Riot can tell us, I'm sure he's probably gonna be like, it was made in Faceplant, in his French accent or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think he said of the Chewbacca bass.
Yeah, he's French, right?
Totally French.
Yeah.
There are 2 sounds, right? There's basically the main sound. I'm sure it's probably one sound. Val, is it 1 or 2 sounds like layered? But this first sound is essentially sounds like this. Really nasty FM. That's the first thing we heard, is you can hear the FM and you can hear the FM moving along with pitch. When you're trying to remake sounds, listen, say, okay, what do I hear that's happening? Even if you're not good at it, just see if you start picking out things like, you know what, I noticed that the pitch changes. That's great. If you can notice that, then try to replicate just the pitch. Also, I hear kind of like when I hear like an aggressive scream sort of thing, I hear FM. Like for me, that's just a telltale sign of FM. And I can imagine the FM knob just barely moving. So that's how the thought process started in remaking this sound. Now, that being said, we have a lot to go through. So let's start off with just the basics. This is the patch so far. There is a shit ton of LFOs to make and a bunch of oscillators, but we're gonna start out with just a sine wave. I'm gonna turn off everything so this doesn't get confusing. Okay, if you notice, I have -12 for the pitch bend. There is a little bit of an automation lane. You can see this kind of pitch bends in a little bit. So, sine wave, set it to +1 octave. We're gonna have this set to going to main for the filtering, right? And then the level knob is actually gonna be turned down. So we're gonna turn this level knob all the way down, and then we're gonna start talking about some of these LFOs. First, we're gonna go one at a time. The first LFO I want you to make is this one. You can do this as LFO 1, LFO 2, whatever you wanna do. Set this to quarter, and you're gonna essentially do a rounded off shape like so, and set it to envelope, and then you're gonna go ahead and apply this to the level knob of oscillator C. So that's essentially gonna sweep in with the slower attack, set that to 68%. While we're here, we're gonna put it on oscillator B as well. We'll get to that in a moment, but make sure that level's down, set that to 70%. And then also on the sub knob as well, that's gonna be set to 70 as well, okay? And then also on the noise. So let's go ahead and apply that to the noise. I'm gonna go bypass that. That's probably 100%. So let's hear what this sounds like. You're just gonna hear this sine wave right now. See how it kind of helps the attack slide in a little bit. Next, let's go ahead and let's add a oscillator B. Actually, no, let's use oscillator A first. We're using a custom wavetable here, but really all we really did is we just drew in some harmonics, right? There's nothing crazy. Now, we're drawing in these harmonics because we're trying to match the harmonics of the original sound. That's a whole other ball game. But if you want to match this, that's all you do. Just pull up these harmonics, start with the sine wave, and just kind of match this. You can kind of see it's pretty simple. I didn't include the wavetable because that's pretty easy to make. So once you got that, you're gonna set this to +1 and +5 semitones, right? Now, the reason why the +5 semitones is gonna matter, turn the level all the way down for right now, is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna apply over here on oscillator C, we're gonna say PD from A, which is essentially FM. And you're gonna set your knob to 16%. Here it's adding that. It's adding that 5th harmonic to it. And then from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply this shape, right? Because the shape goes, now you can get pitching from FM, right? So it does sound like it's pitching down a semitone, but we're also gonna use the FM knob to kind of mess with pitch. FM is really interesting because it pretty much keeps like the root note the same, but all the harmonics are essentially changing. So that's why like these really cool Skrillex sounds and Virtual Riot sounds sound like kind of out of tune, but they're still in tune. It's because they're using FM and they're kind of modulating that knob a little bit. So if you ever want to learn something about FM, mess around with it and you can kind of hear with a tuner, you can kind of hear how it starts to go out of tune a bit. So I have this set up. I have a little macro setup because it kind of creates this tape stop. Don't worry about this. You don't need to worry about any of that. Just set this to a bar for right now. Go ahead and put that on PDA right here. And then we're also going to be applying it over here to oscillator B as well. I'm going to go ahead and bypass that. And I'll talk about that in a moment, so don't worry, but set that to 88%. You hear how it sounds like that's pitching down? That's also pitching down from the pitch bend as well. But the FM moving back kind of helps it sort of get that aggressiveness to it. Now that we got that, I forgot to mention this. Oscillator A at +1, at +5, make sure oscillator A is going to filter 1. And filter 1 is going to be an MG low 12, a filter. We're cutting off some of the high ends and setting the cutoff to like around there. Resonance just a little bit. And then filter 2, you're gonna set up as a scream filter. And we're gonna apply some parameters on this as well. We're gonna set the mix to about a little bit past halfway, 57. Cutoff is going to be set at 144, scream at 31, and the drive at 58 with the resonance at 74. Okay, now let's go ahead and apply this LFO to the cutoff as well. We're not going to hear anything yet, but we will once we start putting something on the level knob here. So we're going to go ahead and set that to about 3%, -3, it's going backwards. And then over here as well, that's going to be set to 37%. We probably won't hear anything. Let's double check though. Yeah, we don't hear anything yet. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's initialize oscillator B. So oscillator B, you're gonna set this to +9 semitones and leave that at 0. And then that's also gonna have a little bit of level knob, which we already talked about. We already applied that. And let's hear what this sounds like right now. Now it's sounding a little out of tune, but what happens if we go ahead and add some PD from A as well? Oh, we're starting to get it kind of tuney a bit, right? Remember, we added this to here too. We also have the filter scream sort of macroing down towards the end of the sound. It's to kind of clean up the less distortion. You don't really have to do that. Don't worry about that. That's us just like getting super nerdy with trying to match it exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and let's bring in our sub oscillator. Okay, we're gonna set our sub oscillator. We're gonna set that to +2, okay, and we're gonna use a triangle wave. And then what we're gonna do is make sure that you have LFO2 on the sub level and set that to 69%. That's bringing in another harmonic with a little bit of pitch. Now, let's bring in the noise. We're gonna use alpha noise. We're gonna set the pitch to 76 and turn the level all the way down. I'm gonna turn that back off for now because that's gonna get fucking annoying. We'll come back to that. We need to add an LFO to this oscillator A. As the sound changes, as the sound continues to go down, you'll hear it starts to get like kind of louder and more gritty. That's when we start to bring in this oscillator A. So you wanna make an LFO shape like this. You're gonna make a ramp like so, and you're gonna go ahead and set this to quarter, and you're gonna add this to the level knob of oscillator A. Now remember, we have oscillator A going into filter 1 and filter 2. Also, oscillator B, I didn't mention this. Oscillator B needs to be going into filter 1 and filter 2. I think its stock does that. Here it gets a little louder at the end. Right? That's kind of helping it a bit. So we add a little bit of vibrato on this harmonic. So you're gonna add this to the coarse pitch. So make a triangle wave shape and set it to 16, set it to retrigger, and then just add this to the coarse pitch. I'm gonna go ahead and bypass this so you guys can see what this is. That's set to -1%. Just adds a little bit of vibrato on this guy.
I love how the sub has coarse pitch now.
Yeah, dude, we're going crazy. That's what I'm saying. We're not even using it as a
dude.
sub. We're using it as an extra harmonic, right? Now, this is a crazy LFO. So this last one, again, this is us going nuts. Feel free to add this. This is at the very tail end of the sound. You hear it go, it like gets really loud at the end. So the way that we did that is we added an LFO with a little ramp towards the end. So this LFO, this knob isn't gonna get any louder until it gets to this point. So set an envelope to a bar if you wanna match this. Let's go ahead and bypass. So make sure it's on all of the oscillators as well. I'm gonna set that to 75, 71, and 68. See how it goes past the blue line? That's because this is starting to kick in. It gets just a little louder at the end. Just kind of a cool little trick. We're just kind of, again, trying to use our best abilities to try to get it to really sort of come through. Now, I think I got everything on here. So this shape is also on the white noise. I said, I think I turned it off for now. And the white noise is going to no filters. It's just going to bus 2. So now that that's going to bus 2, let's set our mix tab up. Bus 1 needs to go to main. Bus 2 needs to go direct out. So we're sending the noise direct out. We're processing the noise separately. This is why Serum 2 fucking is amazing, right? I could process the noise separately and I don't have to send it into the main processing like everything else. That's why I sent it to bus 2. So I said, hey, I want to process the noise separately, which is what we're going to do now. And then I'm going to bypass this main and just go direct out. Okay, so bus 2, let's go to effects and let's go to bus 2. We're gonna start with this. This is just the noise. I'm gonna turn all these off to keep it super simple for you guys so we just hear what's happening to the noise. It might sound a little annoying at first, but let's talk about it. Okay, bus 2, first thing is we got distortion. Tube distortion, oh, me, I just deleted it. Tube distortion, thank God for undo, Serum 2.
Yeah, bro.
Drive 77, mix 71. I just have the white noise so you guys can hear what's going on. Remember, I turned off everything else but the white noise, just for right now. Then we got some compression, some multiband. Louder. Then we equalize. We add a nice high pass to it. We're cutting out all those lows. Nice, get a nice. And then let's go ahead and cut out some of the white noise, the top end, by using an MG low 6. Now there's a little movement on this cutoff, right? We need to add something to that. I don't know which envelope is on here. Okay, so LFO 3. You're gonna add why the f does it look like this?
There's just so many LFOs, dude.
Too many, bro. Can't handle it.
Yeah, there's too many.
Let me show you what LFO 3 look like. It looks like this. You make LFO 3 like this. It's a ramp up, tabletop, straight down, okay? A little Euro gap spine. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I'm gonna apply that to the cutoff so it opens up more white noise slowly as it goes. All right, so now let's go ahead and turn these bad boys back on. Let's get our sub back on. So now let's get into the main processing. We're gonna go to main. We got a lot of stuff here. First thing we're gonna do is add some distortion. We're gonna add diode 2, mix at 76, and the drive at 78. Multiband compressor, 2 of them, because we're trying to make this thing sound thick. This is like, there's not a lot of processing after the fact, so you can try to do it all in Serum as best you can. Here are the settings for these. You guys can just kind of copy them as you see fit. You see it's getting a lot of distortion to come out, this second one. You can really hear the distortion, right? Distortion's really coming out because of these 2 multibands. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit of low cut, and we're gonna do like kind of a little bit of filtering, some high pass filtering. We're gonna go ahead and use LFO 1. Again, LFO 1 looks like this. This is the crazy one that we kind of did. And that's gonna be applied to the left side frequency by creating this high cut. Set that to 30%. So it's cutting the lows and bringing them back. And then there's also a little bit of Q that's moving.
I always like that filter bump, dude.
Yeah, I do
cut
too.
my lows on certain sounds.
Super important.
Really, really nice.
I don't like how I can't see. I thought that there was a way to see these at the same time.
I don't think so.
It used to show it. I feel like, because maybe it is because we have too many LFOs. It's like freaking out. But I'll just have to go back one by one just so people can see. But I think it's 4. That's what LFO 4 looks like. It's this shape. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna apply that to the Q so that the point kind of scooches up. It just goes, woo, it gets like a little aroused and then it goes away, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm so into you. And then all of a sudden you find out that maybe it's not.
Wasn't really.
Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it's not who they portrayed themselves to be. And you just found out. Maybe they didn't tell you the truth. And then it's gone. We have some splitting going on. This is some weird parallel processing. What a splitter does is essentially you can send the lows to certain things. You can send the highs to certain things.
I love how
we're going nuts,
this,
bro.
Dude. I love
the splitter's
how Serum
sick.
has it, dude. It's so nice.
So add a splitter. You're going to add an EQ to the lows, and you're going to add an EQ to the highs, distortion and hyperdimension. We're going to start with the lows. On this side, you just want to basically cut the highs out. So essentially, we're just making the lows not have any effect. Now let's go ahead and affect the highs. So we have an EQ, right? We're going to have a little bit of low cut the EQ. We're going to add a little bit of bumpage here and a little bit of shelf, and then we're going to add some distortion, some diode distortion. This is just on the highs, and some hyperdimension. We're spreading out and saturating our highs a little bit more. Then we're going to apply these EQs. LFO 1 is going to go onto the frequency of this notch right here. That's going to be set to 144, and this is going to be set to 9%. This is going to move that knob. Then over here, you're gonna match these shelves the best you can. Do like a little bit of bump right here and another little notch. And then we're gonna add an MG low 12. Now watch this, everything's gonna disappear because nothing's gonna move. Now we're back to white noise. In this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply an LFO 2 to the cutoff and set that to 100%. It probably should set to, yeah, 100%. And LFO 2 looks like this. This is that kind of first one we started with, that first LFO. Make sure oscillator B is back on. I don't know why I turned that off, but. Nice. It's opening that up real nice. Okay, now that that's sounding good, let's add another MG low, but this time it'll be an MG low 6, and we're gonna apply LFO 4. LFO 4 is this LFO, guys. It looks like this. Remember, bar, okay. I have to keep showing them because it disappears. Okay, so now that you got that, apply LFO 4 to the MG low 6 and have the cutoff set at 1640 or so, adding more top end in slowly. So again, the end of the sound gets very, very aggressive, right? Because all that tie-in information is going in.
It's control.
It's control, exactly. Then we got some more notch EQ. This is just kind of classic Noisia type shit, right? Some more notch EQ with some more movement. We're gonna apply an LFO onto this gain knob, and this is gonna essentially change this little reverse PP into a positive PP, because we love positive PPs. That's gonna be set to, what is this on? There's something on the gain. I don't know what it is though. Is it note?
Approximately 10 hours later.
Oh, I fixed it. You hit this button. That's how you do it. Did you know that?
No.
That shows you.
Oh,
there we go.
Sick,
okay.
dude.
All right, now I don't have to keep going back and forth.
Go.
Learn something new. Oh, I added a sub macro. Okay, you don't need that. Don't worry about that. Don't mind that. Just add a little notch just like so. And then lastly, we got another little bit of notching, a little bit of high shelf right here, a little high bump. There's your, you guys can see and pause your screen. And then a little bit of vintage verb. This one has a macro as well. We put reverb on here for the preset to sound kind of, if you want a reverb, but you don't have to do that. I think we almost have everything. Let's listen to it how it's sounding so far. Listen to it in the mix. Now that that's kind of getting there, let's make sure we got everything applied. So, you know you can do this. Now watch this. If I want to move this LFO to here, I can just take this and I can hold Option and I can click and drag it, and then it moves. It copies the LFO, but you can also...
what are you holding? What are you holding?
No, you can just drag it.
Oh, sick.
Kind of cool, right?
That's
cool
dope.
Little trick. So lastly, we need to do some master tune. So this is a very important LFO. This one's kind of shaping the sound. So you're gonna go in the matrix, you're gonna set LFO 1 or whatever LFO you decided to choose for this one. And you're gonna set this to the main tuning, global main tuning. Make sure it's going both ways. We put a macro knob on it so you guys can adjust it if you want it or not. Macro knob essentially is like turn it on, turn it off if you don't want to have the tuning. And set that to 11. Let's turn it on. There it is. Right now it's in tune. Beautiful. That being said, there's a couple other things. We obviously have a ton of different macros on here. This is just to essentially adjust the tone how we see fit. You don't really need to do this. This is just to kind of give you guys more options with the sound. This should give you around about the sound that you're looking for. Now, that being said, something I wanted to mention, if you just hold down a note, watch what happens. I'm just gonna hold down a key. You hear all that shit at the end? So, sustain down, bring up the ramp, the curve of the decay all the way. And then you can adjust the decay as the length. Now, depending upon the BPM of the track, this length is gonna matter. So if you save it and the BPM is a slower BPM, you're still gonna have to adjust the decay for the length. But now watch, I'm holding it down. See how quick it ended? If I put it later, and you can actually set it to now, which is super cool that they did this. You could set it to the actual length. See how it says BPM or milliseconds? This is such a game changer that they did too.
That's huge.
This is a huge nug, guys. So you could set the decay to the actual length. So instead of having to guess like we did, I could just go, oh, I only want this to be half a bar. So let me go do that. I only want it to, so basically by the time it hits half a bar, it stops. Do you hear that? No matter what. If I go a little bit later than that, if I set it to a bar, see I'm still getting that end shit? I wouldn't want that. I'd want it a little shorter. Pretty cool, right? I think that's a kind of a cool little trick.
That's really cool for just any sound, really, dude. You know, and it saves time instead of having to bounce it to audio and then cutting the end off and then placing it where you are. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Huge nug. Smoke that in your bomb.
Smoke that
man.
up, bro. Do you guys even play the music anymore? Editors, are you even paying attention? Are you listening to me?
Whoa.
Did you play the music? We missed the music. Thanks. Also, is there a bong somewhere? Did you put a bong of knowledge?
Bong of Nodge.
The people want it. They've been sending complaints.
People need some Nodge.
Complain in the comments. Just kidding, we love our editors.
That was a lie.
Next, let's go ahead and add a little bit of processing. We just got a little bit of saturating analog clip with a little bit of multi-band dynamics. Pretty simple. This is just us trying to slightly fatten up the sound just a little bit more. A little bit of shaping EQ. This is just to sort of shape the sound to try to remake it as best as possible. A little bit of erosion for some white noise at the tail end of the sound. And then of course we had to boost that low end because this is a fat sound. Beautiful. Okay, now that we got that, I want to explain one last thing and then we will move on for the day. There is a second sound that's happening underneath. This one is kind of more of a texture, and you can kind of see it has a lot of the same type of deal going on with the shapes, right? Very similar to the way the sound was made. I just wanted to point this out. Same thing with the effects, very similar, maybe a little bit less. A lot of the same stuff that we already did. But what we found is we were trying to make the sound originally, and this was the first try at it, and it wasn't really working, but there was something nice with the texture, so we left it in there because we changed the note and we added it on top of it, and then you get this. So it by itself sounds like this. The sound we just made. Put them together. Now you're really getting it there.
It's like that nice parallel production, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Parallel processing.
Exactly.
It's that really gritty OTT sound, you know?
And then we have a little bit of processing on the group together because there's like a filter opening up. Let's hear how it's sounding.
Remake. How original.
There's also this great like lead that comes in on top of it. Love that. I love that little added thing.
So sick, dude.
Let us know how you guys think we did in the comments down below. Virtual Riot will probably say that it was probably the simplest sound, and we guys, sometimes we overcomplicate the fuck out of things, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that if we get there at the end, and sometimes that's okay. Like, we learned a ton of different stuff. I'm sure we'll get better with Serum 2 and be able to do stuff a lot more simply.
Yeah.
We're learning that there's so many options. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's how you get there, really. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. There was a lot to cover. Hopefully you learned something. If you guys already have Quest for Bass Volume 2 and you're enjoying it, and you've already fecked with this project file remake, and of course all the 7 original tracks that we have in there for you guys, and of course the 200 presets, all the samples,
dude.
Let us know what you guys are thinking. It's been such a good time making these videos. We got a couple more awesome videos planned for you guys, some banger ones, some specific ones about drums that we're specifically excited to talk about. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, let us know what you guys think. Comment down below, like, subscribe, comment. Parker, you got anything else?
Go grab Quest for Bass 2, baby.
Go grab it. We got an awesome sale. Quest for Bass Volume 1 and Volume 2 on sale right now. Play this bad boy out. What do you say?
Play it out, baby.
All right, I'm gonna play it from here.
Yep.